Doing well.
Good.
Splendid.
I'm so excited. This is the first commentary track I've actually been able to be on.
Yay.
Thanks to my restaurant, my baby, and all this other stuff that's been in the way. So I'm really excited to join you guys on this one.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here. But before we delve into all the goodness of our commentary track, I think Brad has a nice word from our sponsors. Isn't that right, Brad?
Sure. DCBService.com. You guys know them. We've talked about them. You want to start getting into comic books or graphic novels, this is a great place to do it. You can get most of the items for sale at 40% off at your DC and Marvel comics. They've got Image, IDW, Dark Horse, Boom Studios, tons of great stuff. They've got games, they've got toys, collectibles, videos, anything in the previews catalog that you can get at your local store, and you can get through DCB Service. Anything in that catalog you can order from DCB Service. So,
and usually at a pretty good discount.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of pretty good discount, for the second month in a row, DCBS is offering all 52 of the new DC titles in their new relaunch. All 52, all the second issues, all the number 2s for 50% off. You can get 52 comics for $79.74. That's half price. That's a bargain if you're going to buy 52 books like that. So check out DCBService.com. You know them and love them. So do we.
Absolutely. Do we have any other business we need to attend to, or can we get right to the commentary, Russ?
I have nothing.
I am excited because I have only seen this episode one time, and I can't remember squat. So this will be like I'm watching it for the first time again. Actually, as soon as I said that, I just remembered one thing that happened. But still, I'm excited.
It's Brad Milo's Amnesia commentary. So
Yes.
Okay, Russ, do you want to run our listeners through the SOP as we go through the commentaries that we do?
I will do so. All right, everybody. So we've done several of these commentary tracks at this point for Walking Dead and for Legion of Dudes as well. So I think we've got it down pat. So you're going to put your media of choice, Blu-ray, DVD, iTunes, whatever electronic format you have your file in. If you're working from DVD, Blu-ray, skip past all of the opening menus, skip past all that other stuff, and actually you're going to want to kick off the actual episode 5 Wildfire. And on the Blu-ray and DVD, the episodes just start. You don't get an AMC logo, you don't get any pre-credit or anything like that. So if you're working from there, you're going to hit pause right when you see the greenery with the sun shining right in the middle. So as soon as you see that sun, pop up or fade in, go ahead and hit pause. On the Blu-ray DVD copy, it's looking at right at 2 seconds. So again, hit that pause, and then what we'll do is we'll give you a few seconds to get that situated. Hit pause on your recording, and then when we come back, we'll do a little countdown to get everybody synced up. So go ahead and hit pause on your MP3 player now and get your video file queued up. All right, everybody, now that you've got your stuff queued up, your MP3 is back running, obviously, because you're listening to me. We're going to do a countdown. So it'll be 3, 2, 1, unpause. So I think there was some fear with this that this was going to become a regular trope of the show. I know we talked about this before, where Rick would be talking on that walkie-talkie trying to get Morgan. But I thought it was a cool technique. We get a little bit inside Rick's head that you could sometimes get in the book, but it's hard to come across in the show.
Yeah, you don't get that internal monologue in the show the way it is in the book. So this is a good way to do it without being too obtrusive in the story. And
just for what it's worth, I own a Motorola radio just like Rick has in his hand.
Not worth much.
You must be very proud.
I am.
Now, this episode in particular is significant because of who wrote it. This is the episode of the first 6 written by Glenn Mazzara, the current showrunner for The Walking Dead. So if you want a taste of what his writing sounds like, pay attention to the writing of this episode.
This is another one we kind of talked about a little bit that Darabont, obviously Frank Darabont directed the first episode. He's had a hand in a lot of it, but this is the next episode was just very well directed. I like these tight shots, these close up shots, real personal to get you involved in it. So I thought the directing on this was probably the best I've seen since the pilot.
Plus, this speaks to Rick's hope. You know what I mean? He's still holding on to hope that they're okay and that they're coming and that they'll be all right. It just shows him how much hope he has as a character.
Yeah. And then this is kind of where we get the payoff, I think, from the long scene in the previous episode with Lori and her sister.
That CG blood looked pretty real.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool, though, because you don't know what's coming. You think one thing's happening, and then you realize what is actually going to happen. You know what I mean? It's very powerful as it plays out. I think this really speaks to the drama of the series, too.
Yeah. It's just a great Andrea moment. I was a little critical of how the previous episode ended and them spending so much time with Andrea and Amy together. And then when you see this opening sequence here, I think it really pays off. And it's funny, this didn't bother me so much. The long open with the two of them in this episode didn't bother me as much as the long close did in the previous episode, which is a little strange.
A little foreshadowing with Andrea's character when she points the gun at Rick and says, I know how the safety works.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Bullseye and Womprants with your T-16 back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are much more than 2 meters.
Nope.
The attention to detail here is on the show is pretty awesome. Like, everybody's dirty. Lori, in an earlier shot, she had, like, junk on her neck. Daryl's pickaxe was covered with what looked like brain goo still.
Everybody's all sweaty, which I'm sure they probably were in real life. I don't think this is a situation where they probably had to spray water on everybody to make them sweaty. I'm pretty sure it was good and hot for them to record this.
It was like the hottest summer in 10 years in Atlanta or something like that.
So it's a good thing they didn't decide to move the shoot to Texas this year, right, Brad?
Yeah, really. Oh, she just saw Jim.
Yep. Just a flesh wound.
Can you imagine being Jim right now?
Yeah.
Feeling-
Yes, I can. Oh, you mean the character? Yeah.
yeah, not Jim Dietz.
He's not even supposed to be here today.
Especially, again, a lot of tension here, given what's going on with Amy and how they're handling that. They were still kind of fighting over whether they're, how that should play out and what they should do. And here they got a situation where, Jim's still alive, but he's been bitten and still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, this really kind of speaks to the story to me anyway about how it's really not about the zombies, it's about the drama between the characters. The characters are put in this impossible situation where they have to choose their own safety over the life of their friend. I mean, that's really where the gist of the series is for me.
And it's, again, not to get too spoilery, but knowing where the comic is now compared to how Rick feels about people in this is an interesting progression that we'll see.
Well, speaking of the comic, we should probably mention to our listeners who don't read the comic that this particular storyline about Jim getting bit is pretty much directly from the book. A few things here and there are slightly different, but unlike where the next episode is going to go, this one's pretty close.
Yeah, even the last scene with Jim is pretty much taken almost like a storyboard right from the comic.
Yeah. Awesome moment right there.
Go.
And the whole time you're watching it, you're like, this isn't going to end well. No matter what they do, they're not going to be able to cure him. They're not going to find a way to get him any better. But again, they're doing whatever they can to try and make it so that he gets out of it.
Right, they're and emotionally he's their friend. He's a survivor like they are. They've bonded with him through all their experiences. But rationally, they know that he's not going to make it.
Well, I think they're trying to hold on to their humanity. I mean,
Absolutely.
Civilization is going to hell in a handbasket. They know what's going to go on, but I think they're afraid that if they immediately go down that path, that, even though they know the end game right now, but if they right now take him out back and put a bullet in his head, that they're going on a pretty slippery slope, and they're on a personal level going down a road that they're probably not very comfortable with. Especially early on, as things are. I mean, if you fast forward a few years from now, and they've been through this many times, obviously it's going to be a different story. But here in the beginning, it's a tough deal for them to be in.
Right, they still don't know if the whole world is like this, or if they're going to be saved, or anything like that. You're right. They still have a lot of hope and humanity. And you made a good point I think earlier. If you contrast between the way Rick is now in this and the way he is in the comic now, I mean, he's really progressed and gotten more and more jaded as a character. I think just because of the situation.
Yeah.
And I got to say, Jeffrey Demuth is Dale. I love him. I think he's the best member of the cast by far.
Yep.
To go back a few seconds to what you're talking about with how Rick has changed over the years, on a similar note, I thought it was funny how when he says we don't kill the living, Shane is the one who replies back, we don't agree on much, but we can agree on that, especially for the future of Shane, as much as the future of Rick.
Yeah. Interesting too that the way the episode shifted. We end the previous episode at night with Amy and Andrea, and then the next episode it's daytime with Amy and Andrea. So it's kind of interesting how the switching of the episode acts as another advancement of time to go to the next day.
Laura even said she'd been there all night.
Yeah, dude, she looks dead. I mean, awesome makeup work. I think sometimes when they show people that are dead, they tend to overdo it. The lips are like really blue and they go crazy with the shading and stuff. But she just looks like all the color's been taken from her, and she's just perfectly still.
I have my subtitles on, and that shot when Daryl popped up, the subtitle said in parentheses, "head squishes."
Yeah.
She can put an axe in Ed's head.
I think she's gonna work out a little aggression. Why not?
Oof.
Wow. This is another one of those moments where it's like, wow, I can't believe this is on, well, I guess it is pay TV, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Daryl's going, dang.
I love how when that shot starts too, it's at that weird angle.
Yeah.
There's gonna be just how not only are you in a weird place because you're watching this act of violence, but your eyes are having to readjust to a strange angle at the same time. Now, did we ever work out beginning of when Rick wakes up to now, or to the end of the season? It's only like 3 or 4 days, right?
I never did the math.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
I'll be interested to see season 2 how much time they cover. I need to reread book 2 one of these days or trade 2 because it's been a while since I read that whole storyline and I don't remember quite how long it takes.
My understanding from Kirkman is that season 2 is going to follow the comic a little more closely than season 1 did, if I understand.
This entire sequence with Andrea and Amy, I expect her to just wake up and start biting. You know what I mean? Like there's this whole tension. It's almost like she's putting her head in the lion's mouth. Here's a nice juicy brain for you to eat right in front of your mouth.
It's almost like Amy recognizes her, like she knows who it is. Because she reaches up, to touch her face.
Right.
Another thing I really appreciate about the show is that, as much action as there is, there's, action sequences and things, what have you, it really takes its time, as far as telling a story. It doesn't seem rushed to me. It doesn't seem forced, it just seems like natural characters reacting naturally, which I guess is the best compliment you could pay it, really, considering how fantastical the premise is.
Did Andrea shoot Amy in the comic? I can't remember.
I believe so.
I think so too. I'd have to go back and double check, but it's weird too. I mean, they don't like you say. Amy seems to know her and recognize her and it's touching her face. They really don't explain, like, even with the deep explanation we get in the next episode of the virus and everything. It doesn't so much explain how that could happen. You know what I mean?
Well,
enough of the person would be retained because isn't it explained as like the T virus, eating the brain out from the inside or something?
I agree that it looked like she was recognizing her first, but I think that was more of a trick of the camera. So you're like, what's going to happen? And instead of her reaching for Andrea because it's her sister, as she starts to bare her teeth and everything, you realize she's reaching for it because it's a brain. It's another body.
Brains.
It just works enough both ways. You go, is she recognizing her or is she not?
there's a great discussion right here where they kind of talk about what everybody's been thinking is, what are the rules? What's allowed, what's not allowed, what's permitted.
How far up can Shane hike his pants? We need to know. We really need to talk about your pants, Shane. You're freaking everybody out.
They're against regulation.
And now for the ladies, shirtless Jim.
But that's right.
Is there anybody in the background there we don't recognize?
No.
Yeah.
So now
I guess everybody else that we were talking about last episode that we, oh, there's somebody we haven't seen. I guess they all got killed.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm dealing.
Ford trucks when you have to have a payload full of zombies. Trust Ford.
So she stays with her sister all night, puts a bullet in her head, digs the grave, wraps her up, and puts her in there. Wow, that's
I'd
pretty
probably do
tough.
the same thing for my brother. I don't know that it's messed up. I just think I'd want to make sure my brother was taken care of and treated with respect.
After you put a bullet in his head.
What if this kid's gonna grow fast like Walt?
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Exactly. Somehow I don't think they'll have the time constraints that they have on Lost. I think it'll be a lot easier for them to advance things forward if they need to accommodate his growth.
Yeah.
He was already taller than this when I saw him at the convention, by the way. He was already a little bit bigger than he was on the show. A little bit older. He's a really smart kid, too. He's really nice. His parents are super cool, too.
Well, would you guys be cool with them just not even mentioning it? I mean, you can take several different routes. You write him off the show, you have a time jump in the story, or you just kind of pretend he hasn't aged any and you don't say anything about it. Does it bother you when shows do that?
No, I think it bothers me when, well, I mean, Lost is a different situation because it was clearly a 30, 60, 90-day time frame over 3 seasons, and the guy,
Right.
has aged years and grew like 4 feet, additional 4 feet. So
Well, that's like any baby that's ever had in a soap opera,
Yeah.
There's that old trope about, that they're 6 months as a baby, they're 6 months as a kid, and they come back as an 18-year-old.
Well, there's a current show, and I can't remember what show or what network, but I just read about it. They're replacing a baby on the show with a young child, like a 5-year-old.
that was Family Ties from back in 19.
No, it's happening currently too. It's happening currently.
I'm not
Probably
sure.
not a soap opera since most of them go
No,
off
it's a
the air.
primetime show.
There's a young child baby and between baby's age and child's age on Modern Family.
Might have been it.
Who just had her ears pierced.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I like Lori better in the show than I do in the comic. Maybe just her character progression as the comic went on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little warming up to her in the show, though.
She never bothered me in the comic.
Yeah, I'm with Brad on that. Dale has a drill baby drill sticker in his trailer.
And we talked about the flag a little bit.
Yeah, the upside down American flag here.
Yeah.
The American flag of Amy's shirt. I would think Dale would be one of those people who would never hang an American flag upside down. That for some reason I just figure people of that generation have much more respect for flags.
I think it has more to do with the current state of the world. Is the world is upside down.
That's true.
I don't think it's a statement necessarily like a political statement.
Traditionally, putting the flag upside down is a distress call. It's
Right, on
distress,
purpose,
so, right, so that would make sense. It acts as a really good thematic backdrop here, too. The kind of the idea of what America was before all this went down.
Oh, definitely.
Jim's talking nonsense now.
I am?
Well, he's not
Not
alone
you.
with the restaurant the baby.
Not you, Jim. This Jim. TV Jim. Talk
I think
about
Andrew Rosenthal sells it pretty well.
Moment of truth right here. Let's pretty much tell Shane where he stands in this whole thing going on. But I must admit, if this were real life, wouldn't you guys want to go to the CDC? I mean, really?
I don't know. After seeing the state of the city, the way it was.
I already have a zombie plan worked out. It does not involve going to the CDC. But if I were in this situation, I probably would.
Since you're in the neighborhood. I just thought it was hilarious that Robert Kirkman didn't realize that the CDC was in Atlanta.
Oh yes, this part coming up here. I remember this now.
Yeah, this was an interesting take on what was really a big scene in the book. Kind of foreshadows something.
Yeah, I was wondering, watching this the first time, how this was going to play out.
I think it's a good example of how the show is like, even though we've read the comics and everything, it's still, fresh and new to us because the little twists and changes they make to the story as it goes along.
They play with your expectations a lot.
I think this is just as much Shane taking it out on Rick because he's back and what he's missing out on as opposed to anything else.
Yep, absolutely.
It's funny as I line about, well, it was your family, you feel differently. He did have that family until yesterday or whatever. And Rick showed up.
That's a wicked shotgun Shane has.
Sawed off, isn't it? Looks sawed off.
This is the best line in the whole episode coming up.
Yeah. I don't know if it's sawed off. Might be combat shotgun though.
That's awesome. I love how they just cut and it's him full, again, the tight shots, the close-ups.
I like the look on Shane's face when he's looking down the side of him, too.
Yeah. I just love Jeffrey DeMunns. This is, again, if you were even skeptical about how he's pulling off Dale, that look on his face was just like, whoa. He knows that. I mean, that's I know what you're up to, and I don't like it very much.
I've said it before and I said it again. Dale is the man.
I love how they're using the van seat as a bench.
Ah, didn't notice that.
You can follow me in my high pants, or you can wear your pants low like Rick. It's your choice.
Mirror the opening shot here.
I wonder if they probably. I bet you they shot it at the same time.
I would guess.
You know, they just said, "All right, Rick or Andrew, put your sheriff's thing on or whatever. Clean your face and put your sheriff clothes on."
That would have sucked for timing, getting that that sunset just right. You only have like maybe 1 or 2 takes before it's in a different position completely.
Mm-hmm. They probably just shot that first. Let's do the open shot without him, then let's do an open shot with him, and then the rest of it, doesn't matter too much.
True. Or I guess these days they could probably just take a clear sky with the sun high up there and sieging in a sunset. Fake the whole thing based on an earlier shot.
You won't be able to do that next season.
They won't have the money.
That's right.
Tune into our news show to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Really.
I guess they won't be using a Dodge Challenger unless it was donated.
You're using the Volkswagen Rabbit,
Prius. Sponsored by Prius.
an ice cream truck.
Well, to be fair, the Challenger is pretty much the only nice car they have right now. Everything else is from the
I wonder if we're
70s.
going to see
80s.
this family again next season.
Possible.
I was a little ticked off that. I don't think he's sad that they're leaving. I think he's ticked off that they're taking half a box
Yeah,
of ammo and a
yeah,
handgun.
exactly.
I hope Norman Reedus finds a new shirt. Maybe one with sleeves.
That was sweet. That girl gave Sophia her doll.
That's the same radio that I have, and I think it is. It doesn't have 40 channels.
I love those big old Winnebagos.
I bet it reeks inside.
That's pretty much the same Winnebago my grandparents had in the 70s.
I think zombies can read.
Better all
You're
not.
going to see that note and know exactly where they're going.
I wonder which car they put the tires from the Challenger on.
I was thinking even more is that Michael Rooker would find it and know where they were going.
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that a while back, didn't we?
Yep,
Sounds
yep.
familiar.
Good music here. Really good music here. The music it almost sounds hopeful and ominous at the same time. Never noticed the canoe on top of the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Presumably the same one that Amy and Andrew were in last episode.
Oh, yeah. I guess I have noticed it before.
I don't think we've ever seen it on top of the Winnebago, except for now.
Again, I think we're seeing Shane's further isolation. He's in that Jeep
Mhm.
by himself. Yeah, been there.
Wonder if Triple A is still around.
It's Triple Z now, buddy. You know, Jim, I never thought about the fact that upside down flag is a distress, but you're absolutely right. I learned that in the Boy Scouts, but I just never thought about it since then.
Jim's not looking too good. Again, the sequence, I mean, like we saw the sequence before with Shane and Rick that was totally not in the book, and then we see this, which is pretty much right out of the book. It's a good mix. I mean, it would be kind of, anticlimactic if everything was taken directly from the comics. But I'm glad that enough is that the integrity of the story is still there,
Yeah, I mean, I've gone on record, maybe not on this show, but definitely on LED, that if you make a direct 100% translation from comic to book or source material to book and you don't change anything of, then what's the point of seeing it? Because there's nothing new, there's no surprise, there's no variety. The fact that they're willing to change things up in a different medium to me makes it interesting and gives you something that where you keep your interest.
Exactly. It gives the and it gives the stuff that you do know from the original source material a different color, a different perspective sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I like that they're willing to leave it up to Jim. They know what they need to do. I think it's one of those. Jim told them, "Nope, put a bullet in my head and carry on." They probably would have been able to do that, but try and give him some sort of dignity or let him go on his own terms.
Again, it shows the humanity that they're still holding on to in this desperate situation.
Would you guys want a bullet in your head, or would you want to just let it happen because you think your family might be out there as a zombie? I don't know if I'd be kissing Jim with the zombie happening.
I don't know. I think I'd have to take a bullet to the head.
I don't know that I have a preference, honestly.
That's the Kobayashi Maru right there, boy.
Yeah, it is.
I would rewrite the script to give me a zombie cure.
I really, 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 really hope we see Zombie Jim walking through one episode next season. That would just be awesome.
So we're to see Glenn with his hair pushed back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to not to spoil too much, but if season 2 does follow the book a little more closely, I'm looking forward to a lot more Glenn. And getting to know his character a lot better.
Yeah, it's hard to elaborate without spoiling anything. So.
Yeah.
I think we got a pretty good chance of that because we're only adding a few new characters, and we'll have twice the time. We killed off a lot of the chat from the first season, so everybody should get a nice spotlight.
And they can't afford to hire too many more actors, so.
Heyo. for Jim.
It's just kind of bizarre that my grandparents had the same Winnebago, and then my dad had one of those same Jeep Cherokees that they're driving.
It's at this point in the series when I was the episode when I went, what?
Yeah, I thought it was another commercial coming on or something.
Welcome to my YouTube video.
He really did do a good job with his character, though, I thought. Even if it did come out of nowhere.
I saw this actor recently on another movie or a TV show.
He was in Super 8. He played
That's what it was.
General-
Yes. That's what it was.
I like Super 8.
I think I elbowed Frank or Bill and said, "There's Jenner."
Don't trust him!
Actually, it was Dennis Pooh. It wasn't Frank or Bill.
Gotcha.
Did you like Super 8, Brad?
Very much so.
Wow, we finally agree on a movie, dude, because I loved it too.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Hamburgers.
There's the TS-19.
Apparently human flesh looks like fish, actually.
It did kind of look like raw fish.
This whole part kind of reminded me of the television version of The Stand. They had a similar sequence in the CDC, only everyone had died.
Yeah.
And they were all in the same kind of suits and everything. And
So you'll notice that Jenner's wearing headphones underneath of his clean suit, but they're not in his ears. How in the world would he ever get them back into his ears while wearing the clean suit?
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want to lose them, or spill acid on them.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of this overall? I know we talked about it before, but they kind of demystified things a little bit by, giving an explanation and giving a little, I guess, science to the book, which we've never. I don't think there's any kind of spoiler for the book, but we've never got any kind of explanation. We've never got any kind of reasoning behind what started this all, what the origins. It's just one of those things you just take for granted. Zombie apocalypse happened, and here we are.
But I think their explanation was more of a we don't know explanation than actually giving you real information. They basically told you what you already know just with an X-ray.
Yeah,
Right.
even after the end of the next episode, we still don't know squat basically.
Right, but I guess we didn't define the origins or anything, but I guess they kind of explained a little bit more about like what it's doing and the progression and things like that.
Yeah, that was very interesting to me to know that not the source, but the science behind it. Like you said earlier, just actually what's going on.
then one of the things that really pins down that's important to the characters too is that it's a worldwide thing. It's not just a local to the area thing.
And I think as long as they don't give any more explanation than what they've given in this episode and the next, I'm fine with it. I think that's just about the perfect amount.
Yeah, I agree.
You think with a really nice control center like that, you'd have nicer chairs.
And nicer computers.
Yeah, they do look a little bit out of Apollo 13.
Yeah, they look like a computer training center at like a Votech in the 80s.
I do love that circular light, though. That is just cool looking.
Maybe it's like NASA. It's considered like a historical landmark, so you can update all the guts, but the outside part has to stay the same.
Is that true? I never heard that before.
The old NASA, not the new. Like when you see Mission Control on TV, that's the new Mission Control, but like the one from prior to 10 years ago, because I've taken that tour probably 30 times in Houston. But yeah, it's like a historical center, so they can replace the guts and stuff, but the outside everything has to stay the same. Still have the ashtrays mounted to the counters and the whole 9 yards.
That's true. I forget that about Houston. I always think Florida when I think NASA, but that's true. Houston, we have a problem, and White Sands, New Mexico, all that.
Yep.
Whereas Planet Houston.
Yuck.
Okay, I just want y'all to lie there. Okay, don't move. Ready? And action.
Maybe it'll be like Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers, where they spent all the money on the movie part of it, and so then when they did the TV show, they always just reused the same footage of certain things.
The ship's going down the tube the same way every single time.
Yeah, same dog fights, the same turrets.
Is this what the real CDC building looks like in
No,
Atlanta?
no, this is a Center for the Performing Arts.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
forget
it was.
exactly what the title is, but
How do you know this?
Bill and Trent from the Behind the Cutting Edge podcast, they're one of our Walking Dead Podcast Network friends. They actually went to a Kevin Smith show at that same building and tweeted some photos.
Cool.
And I think right after we saw the episode, who does the Walking Dead tours on Twitter, like the location tours? Is that Luthen? Somebody was tweeting pictures at that time too. So whoever it was, thank you. My memory's just terrible.
I love how they amp up the buzzing of the flies as they get closer, in the audio mix.
Until we can see darkness is coming, and they're all starting to freak out. That and the fact that there's actual zombies coming at them. They're all ready to bail.
I love this ending. I think it's just got a great amount of tension.
Yep, frantic. Everybody's
And then
freaking
just
out.
the final shot of that light, the hope in the light is awesome.
I mean, even Laurie's like, "Look, we tried. No good."
And it's great to see Rick press to a breaking point, that I don't know that he's gotten to so far in the series.
Plus, Rick is like the only one that believes there's someone in there, and he's the only one that believes that they'll open up. He's holding on to his belief as hard as he can. In the end, it's very close encounters. That bright light.
Yeah.
Expect Richard Dreyfuss to come out.
I think this says a lot because Rick, this was his deal, this was his idea, and I think he feels like, okay, if this doesn't pan out,
He's desperate.
then how is anybody gonna treat me as a leader? Are they gonna be willing to follow me moving forward? Yeah, just awesome shot. Instead of fade to black, we get fade to white.
I think if they hadn't been picked up for a second season, that would have been a great place to end the season.
Yeah. And again, I think to me, I think this is the second best directed episode in the season.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. It may be my second favorite of the season.
And I'm really happy with the writing that we saw in there. I thought it was very good, especially the Amy Andrea stuff, some of Glenn's outbursts, a lot of work with Dale, and that ending scene right there.
Yes, indeed.
I think we mentioned it when we talked about it, but it was very. It had very Lost feel at the end of that particular episode, with the light and all that stuff. But maybe that's just because we were in the middle of enjoying, the tail end of Lost.
I like this episode. I think the first and the last episodes are my favorites, but this is really, really solid, and I think it speaks well even with all the controversies going on right now with the show. Of the quality that we're going to see.
I just hope the quality keeps up.
Agreed.
I said it last week. I'm scared. I'm really concerned about.
Well, only time's gonna tell right now. I mean,
Oh, I know. But why can't I have nice things, Jordan?
because I'll let that out.
Thank you.
Well, that ends our commentary for episode 5 of season 1 of the Walking Dead TV show. If you'd like to get in contact with us, there are many various ways you may do so. You can call our voicemail at 516-468-7912. You can send us email at comments@walkingdeadtv.com. You can check out our brother podcast, Half Hour Wasted, with Brad and his cohorts, and Legion of Dudes with Russ and Jordan and I and our cohorts on Thursdays, HHW on Mondays. And also check out the latest edition to the HHW LOD family, the Out Now podcast with Aaron and Abe. You can check out our Facebook group for Legion of Dudes, Half Hour Wasted, Walking Dead TV Podcast, and Media Minutes. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can at WDTV Podcast, all one word, and HHWLOD_network. And you can follow me personally at Twitter at Yoda Jones.
I'm at Jordan FRM Jersey.
And when I tweet, which is very infrequently, I'm at R. Latham.
At Brad Milo. It's Milyo. And John is
At LI John M, I think.
Why do I always think there's a one in there?
Because he can never remember if there's one at the end or not. Neither can anybody else. John doesn't. Nobody cares. So until there's no more room left in hell and the dead walk the earth, answer me this: why can't we have nice things? Have a good week.
Good night.
He ran calling wildfire, calling wildfire, calling wildfire.
John, how much have you had to drink?
It's not the size of the motor.
It's not the size of the boat; it's the way you use the wheel at the front of the boat.
That Bud Light Lime is catching up on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Russ a call here.
He only put up that email 9 minutes ago, so probably on his way.
Oh,
Oh, we're doing the commentary first?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just saw that. Let me cue up my
Russell, are you eating? Well, I haven't checked the email. Jordan.
Russ, you sound like you're on a World War I field phone or something.
He can't hear you. Jim, I'm holding.
Jerry's
I've got
ass.
my speakerphone on and I'm holding it up to the microphone.
We must have
Jim,
found
Jim said
Jerry.
you sound like you're on a World War I phone. Yeah, because I'm holding my speakerphone up to my microphone, my Skype headset. How long until you can join us? 5 minutes?
Gee, I don't know if we can wait that long.
Well, because we're doing 2 shows tonight. We're doing the commentary first, and then we're gonna do a new show. We'll give you 6.
Brad, tell him to beware of Trenchfoot.
Jordan says beware of Trenchfoot. Trenchfoot.
It's a World War I joke. There's not exactly a lot of them out there.
It's a World War I joke. He says. Jordan doesn't get out a lot.
No, because I have a World War I joke.
Bye, Russell.
Now,
This
you know,